Hi guys, Mikey here with the Fly Fish Club. Today we're going to be tying one of my favorites. This is the Barely Legal. I really enjoy fishing this fly, anywhere from strawberry to the Provo. We're going to start off with the hooks that we have. So the FM 6040 in a size 2, and then that same hook in a size 1. You're going to need some streamer wire. This one's large black, some medium chenille and pearl, some olive brown Marabou, and some white Marabou. The thread I'm gonna use is white 210, and the cones that I'm gonna use are these brass 1/4 size cones in silver. All right, so we're gonna start off with our smaller hook. And this one's gonna be the tail. So I'm gonna just go ahead and lay down a thread base. Trim off that tag. Oops. So I'm going to stop right after the hook bends a little bit, about parallel to where that barb is. I'm going to start off with some white Marabou. I'm going to just take a little bit of this. And on these pieces of Marabou, the parts that I'm not going to use, I'm just going to go ahead and prune back and pull those off. Just try to keep it a little nicer for me when I go to tie them down. So I wanted about the size of the hook shank. So from the eye of that hook to where your thread ended is where I'm gonna measure that tail to. I'll go ahead and just trim that off. Now I'm going to take a piece of this olive Marabou. I'm going to just make it nice and presentable for myself. Just makes it a little bit easier to tie in. So I just pulled off all those fibers that stick out. So I'm going to go ahead and measure about the same length. Just like so. Trim that off. All right, so I'm going to take a piece of this chenille and probably like a 12-inch section of it should tie your whole fly. I like to trim it, and just that way it's a little bit easier to work with. Just go ahead and tie that in, tie it up to where you tied in that tail. And then bring your thread back to where you tied that in at the beginning of it. So I'm gonna do 4 wraps. There's 3, 4. Go ahead and catch that with my thread. Go ahead and trim that off. Oh, thread in there with it. So now I'm going to take another olive piece of Marabou. Just like so. Now we're going to start building up that back. So I have all these extras. I'm gonna just go ahead and grab them and pull them off. So I'm just measuring to about the tip of the tail. That's how long I want to tie that in. So now, if you don't like it, you can kind of pull on it, adjust. You could go ahead and trim that off. Finish tying that down a little bit. Now we're gonna go ahead and add the white Marabou on the bottom. So I'm just making it a little bit cleaner for me. So all this fluff, I'm gonna just go ahead and pull off. So these ones are a little bit trickier. Once you get out away from that hook point, it's a little bit easier. So I'm gonna go ahead and put it where I want it and then go ahead and pinch it. And then go ahead and tie it down. Just gotta see if I like where it's at. If not, then you can kind of adjust it before you start tying it down more. Go ahead and trim that piece off. I'm gonna go ahead and lock it into place. I like where it's at. And then I'm gonna take my chenille, go ahead and tie it in. Try not to trap any of those fibers. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then go ahead and catch that chenille and cut it off. We're just gonna repeat that process until we get to the top or the eye of this hook. And then we'll do it with the front end. So I'm gonna grab another piece of brown, kind of keep moving my way up. So I have all that straggle, just get rid of it. You can tie this fly in all kinds of different colors too. I really like this olive and white, but you can do it in like a brown and yellow. It's another good color scheme. And then I'll fish them in different colors than that as well. So we're gonna go ahead and move over to the white again. And I just moved it over so it's not kind of on the side and more just on the bottom. So I want that chenille to be peeking through. Sorry guys, somebody came into the shop. So we're gonna go ahead and take some of this chenille and now wrap it up. I think we're only gonna do about 2 turns of the chenille right here. Give us enough room to tie in that front marabou without getting that eye too covered. So we got 2 turns. Go ahead and tie it down. Trim that off. Go ahead and tie that down a little bit better. So now I'm going to take a piece of this brown marabou, or this brown olive marabou. I'm going to go ahead and tie this in. So if I have any stragglers, I just pull them off. Just like so. So now we're going to trim that nice and close. Try to not cover up that eye that much, but we did. Just gonna clean that up real quick. Now we're gonna take a piece of this white, go ahead and do the same thing for this side. So I have all these stragglers. Go ahead and trim that nice and tight. Go ahead and finish that off. Try not to catch all those extra fibers in there. So if you made a mess of that eye, the hook, you can just use something to poke it through and just heat it up with a lighter. You just need enough for that wire to go through. Just do that on both sides. So now we're gonna move on to the front of the fly. So I have a size 1 here with a 6.3 millimeter cone. And I just made like a little thread dam for this cone to go up on. Just so it doesn't spin or anything. I'm gonna go ahead and pull that back and use a little bit of this Loctite brush on super glue. Go ahead and push that back on. Now that cone's not going nowhere. All right, so go ahead and lay down a thread base. Just gonna trim off that tag. Once you get to about the barb is where I'm gonna stop. And I'm gonna take that wire with that other end of the fly. Go ahead and just tie that all the way up into that cone. Make it a little bit harder for that fly to come apart. Go ahead and put that other wire right on top. So I put that wire on the bottom so it can ride nice and vertical. Doesn't want to spin. Go ahead and trim that wire off. Now I'm going to take that super glue and go ahead and put a light layer of it on that body where that wire's running. That will just reassure that you don't pull that wire off if a big fish bites that back of that hook. Go ahead and let it dry. While that dries, I'm going to grab another piece of Marabou. On this one, you're going to want the white first. Just like so. We're going to hide that wire. So we're going to tie in a little tail right there. This one doesn't need to be super long. Just enough to hide that wire and make that fly look like it's a continuation of itself. Sorry guys, it's busy today. So now we're gonna go ahead and take some of this brown Marabou, tie it on top of that white. Just like so. Go ahead and trim that. Take that chenille, tie it down back to where you tied in that tail. We're gonna do 3 or 4 wraps. There's 3, I like that. Go ahead and trim that chenille off. Now you're gonna start off with the brown, or the olive brown marabou. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and take this brown marabou. Go ahead and get my thread where I want it. Go ahead and tie that down. Trim it off. Continue to tie that down. Wrap back to where you started that. Now go into the white. And if you see any little like imperfections in that, you can just go ahead and pluck those out too. Just cleaning up this marabou. Get a few wraps on it and go ahead and trim it nice and tight. Okay, we're gonna move on to that chenille. One, 2, 3. We'll do 4 on that one. Go ahead and trim it off. Now restart with the brown. This one, we're gonna make it a bit longer. Now we're gonna go ahead and trim that extra off. Rotate that fly. Now we'll do it with the white. Trim that off. Come in with your chenille. We're gonna do 2 wraps right here, just because we're getting close to that cone. 1, 2. Take a few wraps off of that. Caught a piece of that Marabou in there. So now we're just gonna go ahead and trim that off. Kind of tighten all that thread wraps down. Take that olive brown Marabou. Wrap it right behind the cone. And then with the rest of it pinched, I'm going to cut that as tight as possible. Go ahead and tie that down. Rotate that fly over. Now let's go ahead and do the white. As I'm doing that, I'm trying not to get those other fibers of the brown. Get that nice and tight. Go ahead and pinch all of that back. Trim that nice and tight. Tie it down. If you have any weird fibers, you can kind of pluck them. But now we're just gonna go ahead and whip finish this fly, and then you're done. Sorry for all the background noise, it's a busy day. Just like so, and trim that thread off and get out and fish it. It's a really effective one. Really like the way it moves. Thanks for watching, guys, and have a good day.